and we'll be through.
Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome on this most wonderful Swift day to the 10th episode of Walking Down the Avenue.
One of the most controversial episodes of Walking Down the Avenue.
It might be up there in the ranks. That's why you're 10th. You got the special number.
I promised myself I'm going to keep it at a 5 cuss word limit. Fuck, make it 4.
You already messed up.
So I gotta put on my big nasty voice, so I gotta keep it calm.
You can do. Okay, is it better now?
Me. Oh yeah, she's here.
Yes,
She's here.
okay. Alright, so.
Is that DJ Chanel B?
Yes, it is.
What's up, God? You done?
You can tell time by the time though, right
there. Yeah, you know, I really never sorry time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see how long we go. I don't know, because we had to go 2 hours with this one.
Yeah, because, you know, Mike, like Biggie in that song, Bring Some Weed, he got a story to tell, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I have the weed. I just don't have the whole thing. Anyway, so let's get started then. So tell us, Mr. DJ Big Nasty.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm wonderful now that we are here. Tell us how you got started DJing and when did you get started DJing?
Okay.
We're gonna go all the way back to the beginning.
We're gonna tell the truth.
We're gonna go the whole way.
It actually began in '94.
Okay.
Up the light, Cherry Hill all day. I live in Cherry Hill. I love Cherry Hill. That's my life. My god brother Scott LaRock, DJ James Scott, close personal god brother friend, and my brother / homeboy Kevin, they hooked their turntables, and damn it, before it was the direct drive, they had the turntable. You had to put the nickel on the thing to make sure the thing stood still. That's when I first started working.
Mm-hmm. And where was that?
It was hard as hell. Beautiful Cherry Hill.
You just DJ'd around like in parties or?
Actually, it was in this house. I had to practice my craft.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mad as shit. Because, you know, family blocked it. Because, you know, I was working for the Together Project. I was going to spend some money on some turntables at that time.
Okay.
Then my family said, oh, hell no. You ain't buying no damn turntables. You're not going to become no goddamn DJ. No. Fuck. Yes, I'm calling you out. Mm-hmm. No, you're not doing that. You ain't doing that shit. They don't do nothing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
What made you want to be a DJ? Like,
my thing is, I partied all my life.
Okay. Yep.
High school, I quoted a person who became a close personal friend before he went on Big Tony. I always imitated Big Tony when everybody was beating on the desk and shit. I was the life of the party. Mm-hmm. That was all me. While my homeboys was, yeah, do that shit. Just having so much fun. We used to be called the Lunch Collection in 180. Just a whole bunch of niggas making noise. That's what we did. That's how we lived life.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down to 3 now. Said the N-word.
That doesn't count. That definitely doesn't count. Not no more. No, we can say that with full impunity. All right. So, what point in time did club music enter your life as a DJ?
Oh, as a DJ?
Yes. The illustrious great Mike Bumble was
I'm
sitting in the room with us.
I'm going to be honest with you.
He quoted
it
last
entered
week.
my life.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
The last time when I interviewed with him, he stated that club music was born in 1991. So you started DJing a little after that. At what point in time was club music there with you from the beginning?
It was from the beginning when I started playing. Mm-hmm. It just got 10 times worse when K-Spin came to my job and yanked me up and said, Joe, I heard you was connected to this person, and this person, and this person. Can you put me on here? And that began the relationship with K-Spin in the tunnel.
Okay.
My original job was just to brand him and move on with my life. I was going to put him on, do what he needed to do, and I was going to go on about my business. Until these two Aries said, yo, I need a host show. Get the microphone, do something, yo. Mm-hmm. And then somebody was like, damn, you ain't bad, Joe. We need to kick you. And yes, I'm going to embarrass him while he in here.
Please do.
Then he brought K-Spin. I was buying his records, you know what I mean, making sure everything was straight. Mm-hmm. Doing the work from his house. His mother loves me to death to this day. playing music, everybody partying. And then I made the mistake of debuting live in front of another Aries.
Uh-oh.
My first experience was being booed off the damn thing.
Uh-oh.
Because I took too long bringing the next song in. Which, I hate to say it, I was rebuilding, being brand new, which he really didn't give a fuck about. Hold up, that's two.
See, try it.
But I understand now what I went through back then.
Mm-hmm.
Because, when you're young, you like, can't believe you did this, can't believe this shit. But then when you understand the business, which we'll get to later,
mm-hmm.
there's certain pecking orders you have to go through to deal with to get where you need to go. So I was like, okay, that was a hard lesson. I took it, I learned it, I went on with it and become, well, the rest is history.
Absolutely. So, what direction do we want to take the conversation now? Because you did mention the business, and then you alluded just now, like you said, to the pecking order.
Oh,
that's, remember what we talking about here on the Great Show is the culture of Baltimore Club, not just specifically the music, not just specifically that, but the culture behind that. And what we found is Baltimore Club music is a very DJ based culture. It comes from us, and it is perpetuated by us. So a lot of the DJ culture has become the club culture. So do you think that, like what you're speaking about, like the business and how there is that sort of hierarchy and what goes on, do you think that is something super inherent to like how Baltimore club music is, or do you think that it's kind of just the way DJing took it and hip hop took it?
Yeah, my thing is the pecking order thing is based on your skill level,
right? And
the people that who guided you into being in the game,
right?
This business is also about passing the torch,
right?
Passing the torch, passing your knowledge down to the next generation the right way, teaching them everything the right way. Hence why Big Nasty created 2 DJs of the year. Mm-hmm. A female who's an icon in Atlanta right now doing her damn thing. I love you, Asian.
Yay, Asia.
And of course, DJ Pierre, 2 years in a row DJ of the year. Mm-hmm. And now my son, a.k.a., he's going to kill me for saying this, the White Whisperer, DJ Allure.
You'll call it White Whisperer. Shut up.
No, that's what he calls himself. He's going to kill me for saying it. He's going to kill me for saying it, but hey, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to tell the truth.
It's okay.
Hey, Samir, you allowed? Come on, Samir, you home. Get your ass in here.
That's right. It's okay. Because look, I'm going to have you on one of these next soon anyway.
My hand cut.
Oh, no.
Y'all recording?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, more or less. So,
I don't care all that. All right, guys.
Yay.
My good friend DJ W. Samir is here, but go ahead.
Because I'm trying to figure out how fast I want to move our time capsule into now. Because things are not as they were.
Oh, hell no.
And
hell no. Back in the day, you had to... What you had to go through to get to a veteran, to learn what you need to learn from a veteran, you had to go through a lot. Like, literally. You can't just walk up to somebody and say, hi. Mm-hmm. Internet wasn't out. You can't... I remember when DJ Patrick strode the hell out of me. And I used to buy tapes. For those of you who don't know what a cassette tape is, you know, they used to come out back in the day, right?
Music was in them.
Right. My whole summer of '94, I would travel between DJ Patrick and Sounds of Baltimore and Scotty B and the City Records, and I would buy tapes from either one and study everything that they did. Scotty, don't worry, I didn't jack you. I just paid attention to what you did. Those were 2 at the time, Baltimore DJs. They wasn't, well, Scotty was iconic. Patrick was Patrick. He produced tracks and he, did his thing. Like, Scotty was always nice to me. Mm-hmm.
Scotty's always been so supportive.
Yeah,
of everyone. And everyone who I meet who has a story about him, that's everybody at this point. It's like he's always been one of the main ones to stand behind what you're doing and support you.
See, Mike Mumbles don't know this, but I bought my first set of needles from Scotty B.
Uh-oh.
I bought my first set of needles from Scotty B when I was playing in my godbrother's house. I messed up one of his needles. Oh, yo, you gonna give me a needle? Okay. Went that after work, pulled out the money, went to Scotty, bought him 2 needles.
Very good.
And bought him a record. That's when Kyoi's Children came out. Man, chop. Bought that thing straight. Bought that record. He's like, what the fuck? I'm serious about the business. That's how you have to prove. That's how you have to prove yourself. You have to be serious about the business.
Apprenticeship type. You like the same as tattooing.
Yeah.
Like you can't just. Well, yes, you can, Mr. Mike Mumpers.
There was a saying back in the days when you started DJing. Real DJs buy 2 records.
Right.
That was the saying. Real
That's
DJs.
true. That's right.
And you come into the record store, that's what it'll say. Real DJs buy 2 records.
That
the
makes
same
sense.
records. You know.
That makes sense. Okay, so let's see. So when you began DJing, especially in the club music world, no, like how about that? When you first started DJing, how much club music were you playing? Were you spinning all club music?
I was club music galore.
Good. Okay.
Somebody, I'm just gonna say, Weed Smoke taught me hip hop.
Oh.
Weed Smoke in Emerson Village taught me how to properly do hip hop, and I thank that to this very day. Mark Corona, I know you're probably listening, or somebody's gonna tell you, but between you and Mike Mum, say, hey Callie, I see you, brother.
Hey Callie.
They taught me how to, properly deliver hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And this was before trap even came out for
right.
real. We were, EPMD. We were straight
You're like hip hop though.
Doing Emerson Village basically refurbished, rebranded, and recreated my career at that time.
How much partying? Yeah, this is good. Okay, good segue.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's see. All right, so how much partying? I know that you basically started DJing around where you live in Cherry Hill. So you were in houses, you were in basements, probably various rec centers.
No, it wasn't basements, rec centers. It was Cherry Hill. We was outside. We was on the block. We was outside.
Even better. Where's your party in the wintertime?
Wintertime? Damn that. We was in the house with the speaker in the window and motherfuckers walking past. Yeah, that was Cherry Hill. We party in the snow, the rain, all that shit. That's what we did.
That's what
we did.
Where is your favorite when it comes to the venues by the time you got you? Because let's talk about where I met you, how I met you, the world famous Club Paradox, the Paradox Entertainment System. What a wonderful place. Now
I have so many stories about
I know, and we're going to get to the doc stories, but how much of
Wayne, please don't kill me.
How much of a difference in playing club music as a DJ did it make? Like, how does it feel different to play club music out in Cherry Hill, like how versus the massive sound system that was?
Yeah, my thing is, like I say, it depended on the system. My thing is, the Paradox it was voted the second best system.
I thought it was the best a couple years.
Yeah, I think it was the best
in the country.
Yeah.
The
country, not in
the entire United States of America. The best sound system in the club.
Wayne Davis kicked out some serious money to get that sound system in both rooms.
Yes,
a lot of DJs blew it over the years, but yeah,
it was a good investment.
Legendary. My thing is, I was like, when I first walked into the Paradox, which kind of, I was hanging with K-Stin at the time. And the act we followed behind was my big brother and my close friend now, DJ Booby.
Okay.
Booby opened up. K-Stin was the follow-up. K-Stin was tied. He tagged me. I'm like, what the fuck you tagging me for? Okay.
What, you in the main room or you in the chamber?
In the chamber. Mm-hmm. My thing is, back in the day, it was the pecking order. Before you decide to go into the main room, you have to establish yourself. You had to establish yourself.
That rule up until that thing closed. You have to play in the chamber this many times before you can even pretend to open in the main room.
I'm just going to say, Wayne, please don't kick me.
No.
My thing is, Wayne, I swear, I love the Paradox. Wayne Davis was the most funniest person you would ever want to meet. A lot of conversations we had behind the scenes would make you cry. Like when a DJ from one of the colleges came in with some controller. He tapped me on my shoulder and said, I can't believe he's bringing that bullshit in my club. I'm like, what?
I want to hook up to the thing. He would hate it.
Or one night when I went in, around bmorethandance time.
Okay.
He looked at me and said, Nasty, hurry up. You're running late. Your fans here. I'm like, Nasty, wait.
Your fans here. You can't keep them waiting.
Say, sure, Wayne was a lot of fun. It was fun working in the Paradox.
Is that what's your favorite club that you've played in here?
I love the Paradox, but Club 1 was my baby.
Oh, Club 1.
Club 1 was my baby. That was my baby. Even though I hated climbing up all those damn steps.
Say all those steps.
Club 1 was my baby. That was when I was introduced and christened a young man named DJ Little Jetta. He was really, really young.
Little Jetta.
But he was focused and he was hungry. And I had a lot of respect for the kid. Because he was one of the few people that wasn't intimidated by me. Because, I'm famous for that.
You are a little intimidating.
I would walk in the room and just look at you.
Mm-hmm.
See what the fuck you gonna do. He was one of the DJs that said, you know what? Let me show your ass something. And he was like, this is what the fuck I'm going to do. What you going to do? And I said, yeah, come on. That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of person I am. I like people to bring the best out of me. Right.
So when in your journeys DJing, have you also gone on the road at any point in time? Or have you made sure to stay local?
Yes.
Where have you gone in your
My
travels
favorite
with
trip
DJing?
to Virginia. That was it was everything.
Mm-hmm.
This one young lady met me at the Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
She pulled me aside and said, I'm having a house party in Virginia. I gave her a price. She said, oh, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a cheap price.
No. Not to go to nobody in Virginia.
Yeah, I said, that wasn't a cheap price. And at the time, my sound man, William Howard, who I love so much, had to text him and give him directions at the same time, walked into this big-ass Fresh Prince of Bel-Air mansion. I'm like, what the fuck?
I said it was a mansion.
Yeah. I said, now I see why she said it ain't no problem.
Right, they rich. Do you think that, let me see. So, see, that's a little bit different. Because that's more so, I don't want to call that a private event.
Oh, that wasn't private. That shit was 2-packed. Shakur 2-packed.
Don't say Shakur 2-pack. Shut up. Let me see, though. How I want to talk about kind of like the spread of club music and seeing how far beyond our city limits.
Do I have to be nice about this, or can I be myself?
No, I need you to be yourself. I need you to be as truthful and as for real.
I'm just going to say this.
Because I want to talk about how it got everywhere. And how then you, as somebody who from here, born here, made here, created here, in every sense, and then got involved with the music in the same way, feels about how international club music turned.
My thing is, the thing that kind of upsetted me is a lot of our stuff was sampled for major artists. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us wasn't appreciated by those samples. Like, for example, Lil Wayne, who happens to be a talented rapper, sampled Black Star on I Told Him.
Yes.
A lot of people don't remember it, but he sampled Black Star. But Black Star was not given too much credit for that.
Right.
Which kind of made me go, what the real? There's a lot of other things that happen, like certain beat patterns that was taken from Baltimore. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say Philly can thank me, because them bootlegs selling my CD gave them the idea to become club.
Uh-oh.
Rock Too Easy, Wreak Havoc, y'all my brothers, I love y'all. But you already know what's going on, because when I pulled that dude up in Philly, which I didn't tell Mike about.
Uh-oh.
Say, oh yeah, but I got Big Nasty. Oh shit, you got Big Nasty CD? Oh, hey, hey!
How you find your stuff?
How you find Big Nasty CD?
Yeah.
Yeah, went to Baltimore to the Paradox show. That nigga be rocking. Oh, he do? Oh, yeah.
I remember selling nasty CDs in the Paradox.
He do be rocking. Oh, shit.
And then you found out it was you.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably went a certain way. So do you think that that's something that you think the Baltimore culture then deserves? And I guess just the credit from the mainstream artists?
Not only the credit, but the financial payment for using that sample.
That's what.
Because a lot of stuff was not copywritten. See, when it comes to business, there's certain things you have to do. You have to copyright your stuff. Make sure everything is legal and legible so you can get the money back off of what you make.
Right.
Even though it might cost people a pretty penny, but you'll earn a pretty dollar
In the long
after
run.
you call,
Right.
after you pay that pretty penny. That's the rules.
And how open is that information? Because that's something that can then we have to talk to our current generations about.
I don't even want to talk to the current generation. I don't want to talk to them.
Not at all.
I'm sorry. I'm
Why
practicing
is that?
social distancing. I'm not talking to their asses. I'm sorry. Because it's a lot of current generations that I do have respect for.
Mm-hmm.
I do. It's the ones that came to me when I was down. You know, when I was down.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on the table. If you need advice while I'm down, call me. I will make time. You know what I mean? I will even invite you to my house to sit down and talk to you. Mm-hmm. I even was getting booked for parties in my line.
No, I remember you.
I was getting booked for parties.
Fresh out the hospital.
Fresh out the hospital.
Out here. And now it's talking about, I gotta get, you got what?
And I flipped it up. Right.
So you got a who? You still laid up attached to the thing and you're doing what?
He wouldn't have did that because man, K's fan was getting on his heels about it. Yo, don't get out of the hospital and go back.
And immediately, sure. Yeah, I remember.
That's what he was known for.
Mm-hmm. I kind of have never had a quit. Never been a quitter. Never had a quit attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Let's see. So we could all say, and again, it's funny that this is the 12th anniversary of Swift's passing. If we discuss kind of like the timeline of club music, we know that club music in the city, our city was one way, and now it is a completely other way. And one of the things that we can cite as being a reason for that is Swift's passing. A lot of things changed around that time, either directly related or just indirectly related based on everybody. You want to speak on that a little bit?
That I personally agree with. Because she was the vehicle. Right. She was the vehicle for everybody's music to get played and pushed through to the general public. And the people she's falling asleep. Anyway, getting pushed through the general public because everybody listened to her.
Right.
What she said and what she did as a DJ, she was born. It was truth. It was fact. It was the gospel.
Right.
No matter who else did it. Even though it was some stories, when I used to play songs in front of her, she'd be like, what the fuck is that? Where'd you get that from? Wait a minute.
And then run off with
it. It's certain songs that only me and her connected on.
Right.
We were like, oh yeah, especially Raw Lee's Let's Go. Throw that pussy on. Hey, we connected on that song. Times, you get what I mean? When I was, at the house, we chilled, we geeked, we played stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still take this personal with her being gone.
It's one of those things, like one of the most. It's like I would explain to people. Like I remember when she passed, I was talking to my mother. I called her after we found out, and I was so upset. And she was, she was talking to me, listening to me, and my mom not being ignorant, she was just kind of like, she knew who Swift was, of course, and she knew that I had recently been around her, working on the street team and things like that, and she asked me, because she knows I didn't know her for a super long time. It had maybe really been a couple of months at that point, and she asked me, she was kind of like, why are you so upset? Not like in ignorant, because I was like in shambles, and she was like, people pass, but this is like big. And I was explaining, I was like, because this woman was more than just a DJ. It was more than just I hear this voice on the radio, every day. And even, again, personally interacting, the person, knowing the person, it's like her impact was so massive because of the work that she did and how many, it was like, no, this is like watching like royalty pass. Right. Like the whole country be heard. That's what it felt like. The whole city. The entire city, no matter where you go, every car had 92Q blasting. Yeah. And it was really like the death of not just her, but of so much around that.
My thing is, she was a legacy. She was the one that taught me how to properly brand my businesses. She taught me how
She did that for so many.
Yeah, she taught me how to properly
She taught a
brand.
lot.
You know what I'm saying? I was just quick to want to DJ, and yeah. She taught me how to brand. She even taught me about how to take losses as far as money.
Mm-hmm. Cause that's real.
Like she used to drag me everywhere, literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I've done pajama parties in Towson for her. She dragged me out to Aberdeen. I'll never forget. Almost got me shot.
Almost got you shot.
Almost got me shot on Caton.
Oh my gosh.
Which is now Loafers, the bottom floor.
Oh, okay.
Which is now Loafers, what it was back then.
Loafers.
I was hanging around Wayne Mans, if you're listening and you're watching. I'm in there, we mixing, and it was for some county dudes. I will never forget this. That was before Rome was wiping me down, you know what I'm saying? We had a good old time doing my club set. So you about to shut this motherfucker down. She had to leave to go to Choices. Mm-hmm. She was like, all right, Thomas, you see me when you get to Choices. I said, I got you, baby. I'll be there. Gave her a hug. She went about her business. I went to work. Ding, ding, ding. Niggas started fighting, cheer throwing. Pop, pop, pop. My fat ass was under that table so oh, down the one, I'm sorry.
That story.
Ass don't count, that's the body part.
How to do that story.
Wayne go, you stay down there.
Right. Keep it safe.
I'm like, what are you trying to...
So much.
So she already got her money. I had to go get my cut from her. She already got paid.
Let me see. Oh, my nose. My nose suck. That's why I'm not going off my nose no more.
Yeah, all I know, I promised myself I'm going to be in my best behavior.
You can be on whatever behavior you want to be. I need the juicy and the
I
real.
told my...
Because it's all research. You know what I mean? Because the things that you bring up, or even just naming these places, you know, it marks down and as a note of a place that it's spread.
All I'm going to say, the 5th Regiment Armory was big before takeover. Before it was takeover.
I remember going to one and making it to one of those parties. Remember, like, Mike want to call me a nerd. I'm not a nerd. Mm-hmm. I am a nerd, but I started partying late for Baltimore.
Yeah, while I was doing some other things, takeover had it. But before that, I know 92Q had something called the People's Expo.
Yep.
And for sisters only.
Oh.
And I would go every year with my mother.
I remember those.
The same year, I met Miss Tony, and who's now, which I found out is my grandfather in the business, Nafo. Fo did a version of Are You the Bomb that made me want to just leap on the stage and be like, Fo, what the hell was you thinking? But with me and Fo, we already talk. Me and Fo, we talk almost on an everyday basis now. We're back in contact. Mm-hmm. And that was the beginning of me and Tony's close friendship. Mm-hmm. Tony's like, wait a minute. Took a picture with my mother and my aunt smiling and shit. I'm in the picture. And then Tony, at the Twilight Zone, wait a minute, I remember. I met you and your family. Hold up, your sister work at Lane Brown, don't you? I remember how she used to pick my clothes off of it. That was when me and Tony was real close. I miss him to this day because he was so much fucking fun.
Going back, man. Yeah, I was young during the Big Tony.
Yeah, he was brutally honest too.
Yeah,
he didn't.
That's what I've heard.
He
from
didn't
all
give
of the stories.
a fuck. He told you what it was, what it was going to be, whether you like it or not. You can kiss his ass if you don't like it. That's how he was.
I remember when he passed.
I took that hard, too hard.
What year was that? Do you recall?
That was, I think it was either that was 2003. No, yeah, it was 2003. Because I know at the time I was MCing for K-Spin in the Chamber of the Tunnel. And I had to channel the spirit of Tony to get me through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Do a lot of routines. My mother and your mother was hanging up close. I had to do all that to make people realize that the icon is gone now. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I swear, shoot, I have stories with Reggie. Oh, God, Jesus. With Reggie. Even though Jazzy's my baby, But me and Reggie wasn't always on good terms.
It happens.
You know she's expecting.
Oh,
My baby.
You know she's expecting.
babies. New life. Oh, yeah. Okay.
We'll talk about that off camera.
So, new life. Do you think that... So, the life that our city used to have and did have in that time, again, prior to...
Because I don't know what the fuck happened now, but go ahead.
Well, right. There's theories. The theories I've learned through the interviews and through experience and just knowing is that basically what happened.
We're here.
Okay. Because Mello joined and it broke.
Yeah, Mello always breaking the damn internet. Mello, sit your dread head ass down. Go ahead.
Be nice to
He
my
know
king.
me. Man,
The king of...
look, I had to tell him some things, Jermaine.
But it's like I said, it's apparent that you can look at that as a timeline. So it's like kind of what happened if the story goes as it does is, well, first of all, everyone took a knee. I remember when Swift passed that week, there was a week of nothing but parties.
Yeah, I didn't go to either one of them.
Really, I remember every single day it was like a different club open, and they had a thing, and they were accepting donations for that.
Yeah.
And after
there was
that,
a lot of things behind the scenes that you don't know that happened.
Yeah, I've heard some tales, and I can only imagine the rest of them.
There's a lot of things behind the sines that you don't know what's going on.
It's always some, and I'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, that might be with the whole second hour, because but anyway, but then I remember everyone kind of took a knee. Partying didn't feel the same no more, because there was still everybody's individual parties carrying on, so the weekly residencies would continue. People reported back to the doctors, as usual, but we were all just in there kind of like it wasn't the same, and then gradually people stopped going.
Yeah, it was.
And it was like a dry spell of it not just being lit. And you can understand why, everyone is still in mourning, but it always seemed like that never shook up. Right. While at the same time, while people are still mourning and getting used to that, Bottle Service Baltimore appeared.
I hated that
shit. And then all of the bottle service.
Even though I played a big part in that.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, because
everybody came up the street from DC where they used to dressing super cute and, dress codes and hookah things and buying tables, but our structure of partying never came from the shiny club scene.
Yeah,
we're very
underground. We was partying.
We're partying, coming in there with some normal tennis shoes you don't mind getting scuffed up, and a t-shirt and some jeans.
Yeah, just come prepared for the occasional fight. You know what I'm saying?
I have to fight. You might get twerked on. Right. You might leave with somebody. You might.
No comment.
Listen, so many somebodies. Like it can happen. It'd be real, but it was again what a lot of people said when I asked them what is Baltimore club music. What's it sound like? That gritty, that lo-fi, that dirty, kind of real raunchy. Just like that's what it was. That died.
Yeah, my thing is, eat your pussy every day died.
Oh my gosh.
Eat your pussy. That was the shit.
Do you think, though, that can come back? What do you think it would take for the city to be able to think? Because so much has happened in these 12 years.
Well,
it's been a long 12 years, but at the same time, this feels like so recent. But do you think we'll ever see it again?
Depends on how everything is focused and marketed. Right now, I don't see it happening. A lot of people are working hard, but right now I don't see it happening. The kids then took over this thing and turned it into something totally different than what we were used to.
Right.
Back in the day, it was we gonna pass it. My sister used to go to Hammer Jacks and bring it. Oh yeah, remember this? We need to try this, and we would go so. Then pass it down to somebody that's younger than us. I guess somewhere along the lines, the passing down from generation to generation stopped.
Right.
And then somebody named Eric LeBoux took a piece of what was the main and turned it into something else.
Okay.
And now that something else is being passed down from their generation to their generation. which is totally different from what we passed down from the generations we got before us.
What do you think the main difference is?
The main difference is what we did in our generation came from the heart and soul. Mm-hmm. What they're doing now comes from feet.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm being honest. See, when we partied, we grooved, we danced on a chick, we danced for a chick. What they do, hey, look, I'm telling the truth. Yeah. What they do, they groove on each other and dance for each other. And Mello, if you're still here, take notes. What we did back in the day as far as club music made sense. We had a goal. We had a punchline, in Mike Mumble's terms, in music. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had something to get across. If I want to fuck you and fuck your friend, that was a song.
That's what the song said.
That's what the song said. You know what I'm saying? There was a goal and a punchline. Not
So you think that we basically would have to bring back that?
At least if you're going to do some stuff, make sure it has a punchline and an end game. We didn't focus on the dancers back then. The dancers just focused on us. We controlled what the dancers did. Hence why people like Love Jones and even Super DJ Big L, who, in my opinion, one of the best dancers I've seen in quite some time, knew what to do when it came to certain songs. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, yo, bring this back. Wait for this, come on. It wasn't that. You knew what to do. As a dancer, you knew how to groove to whatever song you listened to.
Dancing for the groove.
And that's true.
So, the way I see it, what you're talking about when it's kind of like they changed what the point and the mission was, to me, it's as if it became a sport.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. It became like a sport.
But a sport that's not like football, not a sport like basketball, a sport like horse racing, or like one of those sports where you watch it just to find out what happened.
But my thing is,
not
the difference between the sport,
because that's kind of what judges like. You can be dancing and y'all be dancing, but everyone over here.
Yeah, my thing is, back in the day, they'll look and go, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And chicks would be in the corner like, I like how yo do this here. Mm-hmm. See how yo do when I take him so and so. That's how it was.
Right.
That was the sport. But now these motherfuckers dance for each other.
It became competitive.
It became competitive. They're not getting no end game, no reward, no nothing. Except for King of Baltimore, which I give him that. King of Baltimore is the only main reward you get. And and Queen of Baltimore.
And Queen of Baltimore, right?
That's the only major reward you get. Well, I think is it still up to $1,000? I don't know. I haven't talked to the boy about doing that.
King of Baltimore, 25.
Yeah, because I know when the best King of Baltimore that ever happened, King of Baltimore 2, mm-hmm. I heard that DJ was the shit. That DJ was.
Who was that guy?
That DJ was I swear, that motherfucker.
Who was that person?
He's a controversial bastard. The Big Nasty was a controversial motherfucker. Because that DJ didn't play tracks for the dancers. That DJ played for the crowd. The dancers had to get the crowd's attention. Mm-hmm. That DJ knew how to connect the crowd to the dancers. Mm-hmm. So when the Nasty had that extra couple minutes to play that track everybody liked, and the crowd go, that pumped the dancers up to do a lot better than what they were doing at the time.
So see, we're going back to the trifecta. In almost every episode I've talked about what makes up the club music community, and it's like if you're a person involved. If you're a person involved, you're either a DJ, a dancer, or a producer. And I've thrown MC in one of those
we were in the DJ section because a couple of us MCs, Buckshot was a DJ.
Right.
And Pork Chop was an MC that became a DJ.
And that's pretty much how all DJs go. Yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah, and Tony was a dancer.
So it's like, oh really?
Yeah, Miss Tony was a dancer before he became a host. Mm-hmm. Well, Bunky, I love you, Duck, but you won't kill me for this. Bunky was a dancer before he became security at the Paradox.
Really? I believe that, though.
Well, he became a DJ.
So it's like discussing how each one of those three worlds, though, is necessary to create the Baltimore Club thing. You think that one of the maybe one of the issues with the lack of evolution is the disconnect between the DJ and the dancer?
Yes.
Because
100% yes.
When you do have the events that are dancer based, I'm just thinking based off of what you just said, and that's the point that I didn't necessarily realize. When you do have dancer based events, the DJ is there more so as the tool.
My thing is,
it's the live jukebox type thing. Like, well, your job is to sit here and play this dance. Whereas in parties, like you said, the DJ for everybody. The DJ everybody girlfriend. The DJ everybody boyfriend. I'm here for you. You know, to do that. No, you good. To come in and make that connection. So, damn, what kind of things do you think could happen to do that? Because one of the things that I will point to that we always bring up is how there's nowhere left to party anymore.
Right. Well, that's part of the problem. The other part of the problem is everything became disconnected. When Swift was gone, I almost called it by a real name because I actually had rights to call it that.
Yeah.
When Swift was gone, everything became disconnected. Everything became promoter-based. Yeah, everything became promoter-based and business-based. That was
also that was carrying on the last couple of years that she was because that's how I found my way into it. Everybody, there was 9,000 promoter companies.
Yeah,
everybody, but the reason why that was different to me, or not different, the thing about why that worked out to an extent to me is because, like I just said, you have so many of these little promoter groups. But you also had 1 billion clubs. Like I say all the time, like Baltimore was a city that was open almost every night. I remember towards the end, I was at like 4 events a week. Because she was somewhere, she was at, I'll keep running back, she was at Mate on freaking Wednesday down the street. And then she was down at Baja Beach Club across from Iguana on Thursdays. And then wherever they were on Friday and Saturdays. Friday, Saturday. And then the thing about Fridays and Saturdays was, most of the time you went multiple places because you had your normal 9 to 2 spot, and then you had places like the Dogs and what was it? What was the other place? Choices.
Yeah.
While it was still open until 4 and 5 and 6 in the morning, so it was like while there were a bunch of promoter groups, there was also a bunch of places for all these people to eventually land. And then, no, I'm good. Thank you.
I've got. Tony Tripp, may he rest in peace. I got stories there too.
Where's the And where else? Like you said, Club 1, and then even like you said when Takeover started doing the whole Belvedere.
That's one thing
13th floor.
I give them that Takeover. As much as a lot of people could not stand them, could not deal with them, I had a lot of respect for those guys. Kelly and
so
CJ. Yeah, I mean, Kelly and CJ, I have too much respect for those guys because they
have to.
They did their thing the hard way, literally.
Let me tell this quick story real quick because it's my favorite Takeover entertainment story. So, and this is like an answer to a question I would ask you if I was interviewing myself. What moment happened that made you realize that this whole nightlife thing here, the whole Baltimore Club thing here was actually sustainable? So, Takeover had Club 1 for residency. It was a high school party.
Yeah, the Tuesdays.
It was the Tuesdays. And they had this party going, and it must have been maybe the second or third week that they started. I remember summer,
was cleaning up.
It was hot, and they were cleaning up. And I remember one night, there were so many kids there. The street was blocked off.
Right.
Like, there was the line, and I sat and I watched them open the door, let the kids in. The shit started at 9. I want to say by 9:30 it was a capacity. There was still a line outside.
Right.
I watched Dwayne and CJ talking, and Club 1 was right down the street from Sonar.
Right.
Sonar wasn't open. I watched them get a bunch of, get the money, put it in the bag, and I walk with them up the street 2 blocks.
The Sonar.
Up to Sonar, and bang on the door. They open, the owner or whatever happened to be in there, and he straight up asked them, like, look, I can fill this room with people.
Yeah, he is.
Right now, can I give you this deposit to open because we need overflow because we can't do that.
Right.
And I sat and watched them run up the street to another venue in the middle of a party, open the venue, and then send all those other people to up the street to the other party, pack that out, and then close Club 1 and move them. And I was just standing outside between the two things, looking at this like, oh my gosh!
And they cleaned up.
And they did it because the cops were getting irritated. You know, they get
when there's too many people outside. Trust me, I know that. But yeah,
like, let's talk about.
I respect
the
those
pepper
guys.
sprays, right? And I was like, I've never, even to this day, have never seen anything like that. I've been to a lot of parties. I've been to a lot of sold out parties.
Yeah, my thing
I've
was,
stood outside a lot of venues.
You wasn't old enough to go to original Hammer Jacks.
No, I wasn't. And I'm always sad about that. Yo, I'm sad about that all the time. I wasn't. And then by the time I made it into Hammer Jacks for a real party, like successfully twice. Before you was
right
on the edge.
Yeah, you was on guilt for that. Yeah, that was off the hook too. Right, but
the original Hammer Jacks.
Shout out to Louis Principal. That's my boy. Jacks. I love Louis. But original Hammer Jacks, my 16th birthday. Whew. That was when DJ Booby, who I still love to this day, shouted me out for my 16th birthday. I was young and ain't know no better. But Charlie Hill, we had our own corner.
That is so slick.
Charlie like, yo, you don't go nowhere. You Charlie Hill, you stay right here.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about New Hammer Jacks? New Hammer Jacks, which is...
I did 2 weeks down there. That was when, believe it or not, I was in the middle of a bidding war. A serious bidding war between K-Swift and Reggie Reg. Both people wanted Big Nasty services.
Okay.
Reggie, I love you, that was part of our friction, came down there to promote a splash party that I was doing for him the following week. Mm-hmm. He wanted me to get on a microphone and say something about it. But I wouldn't do that because there's certain rules in this business that you have to follow. Mm-hmm. If you're in a venue, you cannot promote another person's situation no matter what the situation is.
Right.
And at the same time, that same day, Black Star debuted the Hey Motherfucker track. Hey mother,
hey mother.
That was my last night at Hammer Jacks.
Uh-huh.
Because it came out that Reggie was trying to do this thing and Swift thought I said something. I was like, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I ain't say nothing. The following day, I ended up at Mike Mumble's house. And Mike Mumble swore me up and down, forgetting the type of person I am and forget the type of integrity that I had, that I was behind all that. But he should know more than anybody that is not my character. That's not how I operate.
Right.
That's not how I get down. I had too much respect for Swift to do that.
Right.
They took me off of Hammer Jacks, but she still kept me on First Saturday with her at the Paradox to deal with the gay people, which paid me more money anyway. But yeah, I was like,
that's so interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories. My story is interesting within itself.
Interesting. How do you? That's something. Okay, so yeah, wait, brilliant. You said deal with the gay people. So you're the. Let me think of who's been on the show. I want to say. You are the first one who DJ parties primarily for that community.
Yeah, because I ain't give a shit. I love money too much.
No, that's what it is. But how, tell me about the Baltimore club experiences within the gay community.
I'm going to be as honest as possible. Everybody talk about, I'm afraid you're going to try to holler at me. You going to Gay people know who gay people is.
Period.
They know who is what. They know who to talk to. They know who to approach. Mm-hmm. I got gay nephews, gay brothers, gay cousins, gay all that. Mm-hmm. And they approach me like, Big Nasty, the legendary DJ. Mm-hmm. But you ain't going to fuck with them. You know what I'm saying?
One of the things that always bothered me, especially towards the end of the Paradox's life, once I finally wiggled my way in there and got to DJ in there, which I'm still so happy about.
Yeah, I think I worked on that ticket.
You were there a couple times. So fun. But one of the issues that I remember having all the time is Baltimore, and I guess it's not just Baltimore, it's just people. Yeah. People and their stunning homophobia. Because we would go in there and it's like, oh, this is the fucking docks. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You are DJing in there. You like seeing us. This is where you want to see us DJ. Come. Oh, it's on Saturday. Oh, I'm not coming because that gay shit. Da da da. And we would be like, yo, you trying to party? Or are you trying to party? Because it's like, again, this place was perfect. And again, it's some of the best parties on somebody's Saturday night, especially the first Saturdays in the docks. And it was like, if y'all could get from behind yourself for a second and come to these events, like, you would see some amazing shit. There was some amazing shit going on.
See, I remember when my cousin Super DJ Big Out passed that third Saturday torch down to me. He was like, I can't do this no more. You got that. I said, what? And that was $300 a night. Like,
easy. Easy.
From beginning to end? What? All right, cousin. Thank you, cousin. He had more, importantly, he had more important things to do, which I understood. I'm a businessman. Hey.
Let me see. So the torches passed. How do you?
I actually had to pass a couple torches a few times. Waters, I love you.
Yay, Waters. That's right. Torches get passed. That's brilliant. I remember.
I started on LGBT.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember the torches passed thing. I remember one of the scariest things. Not scary. It wasn't scary. It was just an intimidating moment. I was talking with Black Star. And no, this is like it's the case with thing, and what makes me all nervous and wiggly, because one time we were at the Crown, and I was sitting in front at that table like I always do, because I make work everywhere. And I was just being me. I think I was real drunk. I don't remember what happened. It was something. But he came up. He came in and he saw me. He's all like, blah, blah, blah. That was Ducky. I hate Ducky. Da, da. And he walked up on me and gave me a hug. And he said something to the effect of, the way I was sitting, I looked like I was on a throne. And he was like, right, sitting where queens are supposed to be. You know, he said something like that. And I was like, I got all like, don't do that, you know, blah, blah, blah. Because I get real weird when people use the queen term around me, especially ending up who I ended up. I ended up another, you know, female DJ, same light skin, same thickly at some point in time, you know. So people are real quick sometimes, especially when I first started to try to do that, you know, make that link. And I was like, and he had done this before, and I always get kind of like nervous about it. And this time he stopped me. He stopped me and he looked at me. He was like, "New queens are born every day. Thrones don't last forever."
Right.
And it kind of shook me, because it was like, damn, you know. And it's like, that's one of the things that some people have told me they thought that made the hindrance of why the evolution stopped with her was because people didn't want to let go of that.
Yeah, people didn't want to let go.
And again, to this day, you try to call somebody else club queen, people get highly upset.
Oh yeah.
Still this day, and that'll probably happen. But do you think that there's any way around that too, especially moving into this decade? There's so many
there are a lot of
female
DJs. There are
and
a lot
it's
of female
beautiful.
DJs.
I started DJing 5 years ago now, officially, and I remember when I started, and thanks to the likes of YouTube and everybody else who's had a...
I was a bully. I was a fucking bully because I believe in the right and the wrong way of doing certain things.
No, it's fine, and I didn't even... No, because that could be a story in itself, you know, because I remember asking y'all, can you teach me how to DJ? And you're like, no.
Yeah, my thing is
not teaching you how to DJ. And I was like, that's fine.
I'm going to tell you something.
And I was like, that's fine. You know,
I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to tell everybody else something.
I understood there was a method to it, and I understood.
Look me in the face.
I understood.
Look me in the face.
I'm looking in your face.
From friend to friend. There is no such thing as teaching someone how to DJ.
As a DJ teacher, yes.
And I'm going to tell you why. This should be your teaching tool right there. That and these are your teaching tools.
That's it.
You just have to have this to learn how to count your beats and get everything in order.
That's all you need to do.
That's all.
That's something that, again, look, y'all created a DJ in me, but then you ended up creating a DJ teacher. I sat and taught so many people when I worked at Guitar Center of different types. Old people. I had an 80-year-old lady come in wanting to DJ. My favorite student was this little 8-year-old little white boy, and he got nice. So so I would always say that, like, so first of all, step one, you already know how to DJ.
Yeah, you just have to apply.
Don't know how to use these tools.
The only thing is you have to learn how to teach them the right way. You can't. The only thing you have to do is direct them how to handle things the right way.
Right.
Like I did not only have to learn from Scott. I had to learn from Mike. I had to learn from Spin. I had to learn from Blaze. I had to learn from Samir, which was fun hanging with. I swear, Samir. Mike was the one that taught me the toughness. He was the, fuck that. Do that all over again. I don't like how that sounds. You're going to do this right, and that's how that's going to be. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. But yet he's the one that didn't understand where Isaiah stuff was, no. I don't like this. No. Fuck that. You're going to do this.
Mm-hmm. It was real, like, I don't know. Learning how to do that, especially back then, because look, what we're talking about, 2008, 2009, when I was in there like, can I? How many other female DJs did I know besides Aisha?
She went on to become a tour DJ.
That's what I'm saying. She went
to become a tour DJ.
She was the only other female DJ I knew.
Yeah.
And I had heard of. And then again, we go 5 years ago. I'm finally a DJ. There were still only a couple, but now I could name so many.
Yeah, but there were so many people behind the scenes that you did not know about.
Right.
Like Lady Mysterious.
Right. And she's been DJing.
She's been in the game for a long time.
I want to get her on the show.
Miss Tiff.
Mm-hmm.
They was behind the scenes for a long time. They were behind the scenes before Swift was on the scene.
Right.
There were things done a long time ago that a lot of people did not know because everything was so underground.
Right, and it's still, and that's the funny thing to me, that term underground, when we're talking about club music, because it is an underground thing, but it's like trying to wear not underground clothes.
Yeah, my thing is, Swift was one of the people that made it public. The producers gave her the tracks. She's like, oh yeah, if she liked it, boom. If she didn't like it, she pushed it to the side, you know what I mean? And she, played it eventually. That was Swift. Yeah, that was Swift. She made every producer. Is a lot of people don't know, but Big Nasty's voice was on a lot of tracks.
I was going to ask you about that.
A lot of tracks. Big Nasty and Mike Mumbles made a track. Yeehaw! A country track that we dominated.
It said a country track.
It was a track back in the day for Club Clean Entertainment called "Get Me In." Mm-hmm. Which Big Nasty's voice was all over. Big Nasty's was over Pitbull's introduction. Big Nasty's was over MVP's introduction. Big Nasty did a rap song with Mark Corona. Big Nasty's theme song, Hold Up, is what the kids are using in their track.
I like Big Nasty's theme song. I have that. You told me it was copyrighted, so that's why I never played it.
When you mess with somebody, some shit is copywritten.
I know. That's good. That's a good way to be. And see, that's how we loop the money back around. Do you think that there's enough time? How long? See, my whole thing is, and like my purpose for wanting to do this project, and when I blow it up into the second phase, is I don't want the stories and the life of club music to die. And there's a lot of parts that feel like there's moments where you can say it has, but all of these stories, you know what I mean, is important. But I'm also trying to figure out, am I being an old nostalgic person always talking about the good times and like, oh, that's not how it was?
No, you're not being an old nostalgic person. My thing is you're doing everything right by the book. It's great to reflect on everything that went on, during the days of what it was, to remind people of what it was before, you know what I mean?
Is it still what?
Okay, I'm back. That was me being dramatic. That's my table. That's my thing. That's you. Okay, we're back.
See, pardon now interruption.
What was the last question I asked you?
What kind of fried chicken you like?
Yeah.
I don't do that no more. I don't want to die. You know what I'm saying?
We're past the fried chicken. Let me see. What? Damn, no, because it was a good question.
Something
Yeah,
about
I forgot
remembering
that
nostalgia. Would you want to do?
Oh! The question was, hi everyone, thank you for coming back after our brief
Intermission.
Instagram sponsored intermission. This is episode 10 of Walking Down the Avenue. I am Ducky Dynamo, and I am joined with the legendary DJ Big Nasty. And we are here on K-Swift Day, talking club music. You know how we do. Club music, club history. But before the break, we were talking about...
I can't even see that shit. Go ahead.
I gotta restart it. It was asking about the old days. The old days are my favorite thing to talk about because the old days are the days. If we talk about the last decade, there wasn't necessarily too much going on in the last decade that's notable. I feel like I half offended myself saying that because myself and many peers have done a lot. We have thrown a lot of parties. You know, we have created a lot of music.
I said, you toured
like,
me a few times.
That's what I'm saying. I went to Canada off this club music shit. Like, it's a big deal. So it's obviously something that's there, but the world's different. So I guess I'm saying, as much as we talk about the old days, do you think that moving forward, we should be trying to return to those days as far as club music, or do you think now it's just time to do a new different thing? And what do you think the new different thing should be?
I'm going to be honest with you. For those who would want to return to the old days of club music, I hate to say it, it's not going to be easy making it happen. Because this generation has been so used to the new, to the little babies, to all the hip-hop, to all the, and the party element has been totally destroyed. Clubs been replaced with hookah spots. Like, things are done very different now. That's why when everybody always say you adapt or you perish.
Right.
Even Big Nasty had to adapt.
It feels bad though, because to an extent, a lot of the adaptation that we mentioned, it feels like we're giving away something that used to be, or giving up on something. Right. And it's like, that's not necessarily the case. It's just, it's not sustainable.
It's like when she left, when Swift left, that gave the world room to change, but not change and to keep the club music alive direction. Change and to move towards other avenues of music. Hence why the culture adopted that pop bottle crap and all that other stuff.
Because it's easy to be profitable from that.
That's basically it.
One of the things we talked about when it came, especially to the dots, which is I think the biggest example of that, is how there was no liquor license in there, and a lot of the places that we went, that's or had memorable parties, that is how it was. It was bring your own liquor. The only thing you were paying for when you walked in there was the music and the room. That's it.
Rhino, everything else, I still love you to this day.
Hi Rhino. Oh yes, but it's either you are bringing your party. So it's like, if you turn up, if you feel the need to drink and that's not a problem, that's what you bring in. If you feel the need to smoke, that's what you bring in.
Shit, we can drink in the car.
Right. And it was stuff like that. But after Baltimore did turn into a very liquor over here type of city. And I always wonder, how big of an effect is that a coincidental situation where the fact that the bottles scooted into Baltimore right after she passed, and then therefore
everything just was it was a snowball effect. I think, as I remember, I had to go to Sonar and do a 9 to 2. Made a lot of money there. Drunk a lot of liquor.
I miss Sonar so much.
Told my people, come down to Paradise, blah 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 blah. I go there. Like, half of them came down there. Wayne looked at me like, what the hell? I remember me and Wayne had that conversation. Why in the hell would they go to that shithole in the wall before coming to my club? I was like, Wayne, nah. Can't understand it, but that's what the kids want. Because, you know, every 3 years, there was always a new generation of folk.
Every 3 years?
Every 3 years. My years working down the Paradox, every 3 years, there was a new generation of folk.
Okay.
I know one generation I did, my baby Tiwana's prom. Next thing you know, after she graduated, she was going down the Paradox. 3 years later, I was doing another friend of mine's prom. They going to the Paradox. It's new generation, and it always changes in the music. Even changes in club music back during that time. My thing is like, hey, I couldn't go in there with a current generation playing ding da da dum 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 ding da da.
Yeah, they get irritated.
See, things change.
Speed it up.
People change. So you had to learn how to adapt to the people you were dealing with.
What changed on me was my knee started hurting after all the.
I said, yeah.
Like right, we listen to house music now.
I say right now the kid, like right now the generation is on TikTok and Little Baby.
That's right. And poor Megan Thee Stallion getting shot.
Yeah, and poor Megan the shoot up. You know what I mean? That's how that go. That's how it is now.
So that's an exciting thought though, because to me it lends a little bit of hope, because it's one thing we talk about how the music changed, and you mentioned the generational switches. Everything goes in a cycle.
Yes.
So it's like at some point in time that moment for club music to jump back into double dutch is inevitably going to appear, especially because it still has such a strong influence.
Yeah, that's why I have to give a shout out right now to my MMBP radio family, DJ Smooth, who has a club situation coming out.
Okay.
Him and all of his DJs with that station are doing something with club music right now as we speak. And I know he's probably like, oh, I can't believe you just said that on it. But yeah, Smooth, my man Smooth is on top of everything involved in that.
That's good.
He wanted somebody else.
Uh-oh.
But I don't know if somebody else was going to be involved in that. Because, you know, he's busy with running the radio station and taking care of all businesses. Because I still believe Mike Mumble still got some oomph.
Oh, he does.
In that club music body of his.
He does.
And not for the be more than dance stuff. Mike always had a thing with putting stuff together with bass lines and kicks and everything the right way.
What do you one of the cool things I learned when I interviewed Black Star was that, so he told me his first song was Tote It, and came out, and Get My Gun was what came after that, after he remixed Tote It a couple times.
Yeah.
And he said one of the things about that is it only had 2 sounds in it. Told it was just that click.
Yeah, I was in his top 5 fuck you list.
And it was like, even to this day, that track is almost 20 years old. Yeah, it is 20 years old, and it's still one of the hardest songs.
See, back in the day,
it was just 2 sounds.
It's
simple.
2 ways
nice
you get tracks as a DJ. From the artist themselves or from the underground. When I was coming up, I got most of my tracks from the underground. I got his tracks from a close personal friend of both of ours.
Okay.
And I got Get My Gun, and one of my friends was like, yo, what the fuck is that? He was like, and then word got back to him that Big Nasty had it. Like, how the fuck Big Nasty get it? All I had to do was whistle. Because I never snitch on my sources.
That's right, you never say anything.
Never say nothing. That's a rule of the game. You never snitch on your sources. My thing is, I kept everything. You know what I mean? What the hell fucking body slamming somebody in the hallway? But anyway.
Playing wrestling.
Like she said, but now me and Black Star like this. That's a brother. You know
Love brother Black Star. I thought he was in here earlier. I thought he was online. So let's see, what would you like to see next? I kind of asked that. I know that you said, as far as asking what you think Baltimore Club deserved, and you said the recognition.
Yes, the respect and recognition.
From the mainstream talents. What do you, outside of that, what do you want to see club music do next? What do you want to see? What would make you the happiest DJ, Big Nasty, if this happened in club music?
Me personally, I would love to see club music re-evolve.
Okay.
I would love to see, not so much of the old producers, but someone to take someone under their wing, to teach them the right way, to put everything out with the punchline, the beginning, the delivery, the bass kick, The what, the boom, 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 boom. Something that Mike Mose made famous. Or a Johnny Blaze pattern.
And see, you can just name them.
Right. My thing is when you, like I told Samir, when you've been around as long as I have, you study everybody and you know what everybody's gonna do, and you know everybody's pattern. That's why Raw Lee, I know if the word gets back to you, I love your bass patterns. You kick ass when it comes to bass, Raw Lee. You are the master of that. I love that. That and when you sing on certain shit, I love it.
Riley a rapper. There's bars on every track.
Yeah, cause Riley, like shit.
What do you who is your, yes, and be all the way honest, because I know you're still listening. Who is your favorite current producer of these generations of the newer music? Who do you like? Who have you heard that you were like? Okay.
See, I haven't really got involved in the new club music since 2011 when the Paradox was folding and Big Nasty was the closing set of the Chamber. But I always was an Entourage dude. I loved Entourage. And Juice was definitely my favorite. Juice can send me, Juice still send me emails. That's, the brother he's a dynamic brother. He has the tools and the potential.
Okay.
He can take things to the next level.
Okay.
Just slow it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Give people time to feel what you're giving them. They're not dancing. They want to groove. They don't want to. You know, people in their 30s and 30s and their 40s don't want to kick and jump.
I'm still down to two-step real hard.
Right.
We can do like a crazy leg for like about 5 seconds now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I start.
If a shit kick in,
for it start going left real hard.
Yeah, my thing is, if you slow it down a little bit and give people time to feel what he's giving them, then yes, I say Juice has the potential to be the man.
What is your favorite BPM of club music? Where do you think it should be?
BPM should be between 125 to 129.
Oh, interesting.
125 to 129.
So Black Star's 128 is your favorites.
See, I can give a Black Star. See, if I was with my computer, I would have gave a Black Star a set to make it go, what the fuck? My thing is, it's like, gotta respect it. It's the name, Black Star. He was the. I remember when Black Star first came into the business, he was very misunderstood. DJs would not play his music at all. They would look at me like, what the fuck are you playing? Even though Black Star didn't even know I had his shit. But he's like, what? I say, yo, this Black Star. Then everybody named up was like, yo, I need that. And then when Swift started playing it, he became,
Ooh, let's talk about this. No, wait. You have a choice. We can leave the city or we can stay in the city for my next question. Which would you like to do next? We can always come back to the city. But this is a chance for you to tell an anecdote.
we're going to stay in the city.
Okay, we're going to stay in the city. Tell me, because you are also of the first DJs I think that had this type of gig. Tell me about the strip clubs. Tell me about the strip clubs and their role in Baltimore Club. Do they play? Do strippers like club music?
Strip clubs back in the day. I see, I'm retired from this life, ducky shit.
Sorry.
See, the lesbian strippers, yeah. Club was in their sets.
That's lit.
Club was in their sets. Right now, if you're going on the block, you're not going to hear that much club music. You're going to hear trap. All they want to hear is trap, Gucci, but not Gucci and Gotti no more.
Right.
I ain't been down there since. Yeah, baby and the baby, yeah, and Meg and yeah.
So many babies.
Money bag.
And yeah, and money bag fuck up.
There you go.
That's all they want to hear. That's definitely. Strip club back in the day, you can
That's crazy.
And they'll flip and slide and get the money thrown on them and all that shit. It was fun though, especially with Choices. That was so much fun. Isis, I love you. Choices, Justice, I love you. Justice made me a lot of money, but it was a lot of fucking fun.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a lot of things behind the scenes. I think I might have to say that for my book. All the places we used to have sex at.
Ew.
All the places, yeah, it's a lot.
Germs.
Behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
The spooky stories. That's the super uncut.
Yeah, certain people gonna have to write releases before I can talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
NDAs, reevaluate.
I had to go watch for and go, y'all ain't ready for this.
Let me see. If you could pick 3 DJs, producers who define the sound of Baltimore club music, who would you pick?
3 DJs of all time. Definitely gotta say DJ Booby. DJ Booby was my life as far as his business. He was my whole life from beginning, from going to elementary school, from going to carver dances, well, sneaking to carver dances. So, thank you to my father. Sneaking to carver dances. Frank Ski, who is by far one of the greatest historians in club music of all time. They can sit down and explain to you, okay, this came from here, and this is how this started, and this is how this ended, and this is how this came in. And the third one, my girl, the Club Queen K Swift. Tony and Reggie would be 4th and 5th.
Do you think that now, when I asked that, I did make a slight delineation between producers and DJs. Do you think that in this realm, at this point in time, it matters if you are exclusively one or exclusively other? Because, for example, K Swift didn't make music. She wasn't a producer.
She just played it, like me.
Right.
You know, like she just
You don't
played
make
it.
music. You're not a producer. You just play it. And sometimes there was always this expectation I learned of music where if you were a DJ, it was expected that you had tracks. And it's like, right.
I hated every minute of that
That's
shit.
the response. Because it's like...
James Nasty still owe me some money, but I'm going to leave that alone.
Well, you can ask him next week.
That's called gimmick infringement. Nasty was my name. It's copywritten. It belonged to me. James, I love you, brother, but you owe me some money for using my name and getting rich off of it.
I'm going to ask him. I'm going to let him know. Maybe he'll watch this episode and...
I'm like, oh, fuck. Huh?
And see what he has to say about that.
My thing is, I'm mad. I love Pork Chop, but I'm really mad at him for that shit. James Nasty did a track off an EDM track. And Pork thought it was me. It's like, yo, I didn't know that fat Tommy Woo come out. Kill. Me and Pork always cool. Anyway, I didn't know that fat Tommy Woo made a track. What the hell? And then you call Rhino the big meatball.
That's incredible.
we
learned so much.
Yeah, we bonded. My thing is, back in the day, a lot of us, we bonded.
Yeah.
We might fuss, we might fight, we might argue, we might scream and holler and fuss and cuss. Might even say fuck you a couple of times. But it was a period of time when me and Mike wasn't speaking.
I can't imagine that.
Oh, yeah.
But I can imagine it.
It was all, and the funny thing is because he thought that I put Swift before him. But I'm going to let him know right now it wasn't the case. My goal was to get those two back on the same page because they had a bad situation at the time. My goal was to get them back reconnected. Mike looked at it as I put her before him when I was doing certain things for her, which was kind of sort of halfway recommended by Mr. Wayne Mans, who is not here to defend himself right now. He's probably in Carolina somewhere living it up. But yeah. Man, Mike ain't speak for like a good year.
That's like a blip in the amount of time of history y'all had.
Yeah, my thing is, it's like we reconnected when K-Spin called me and said Mike got into some trouble. And Big Nasty said, oh no, and just hopped up immediately.
That's how it goes. That's family. And let me see. Okay, so no, we are going to leave the city. How familiar are you Tell me how you feel about the Jersey club movement.
See, Jersey, I have no issue with Jersey because, believe it or not, Jersey was out a long time ago.
Okay.
There was a song called Dookie Booty that was out in the 90s that came from Jersey.
Okay.
A long time. Give me that Dookie Booty, give me that Dookie Booty. A long time ago.
Do you remember who made that?
I don't have a fucking clue.
Some Jersey.
Some Jersey.
Some Jersey person.
Jersey been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
That's why I never understood why a lot of people got offended because of a lot of things that, were done as far as club music in Jersey. Because Jersey had clubs for a while they damn self.
It's just the territorialism of it. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you from Baltimore and you know where, that comes
You knew
from.
where it was hot at. From Baltimore's opinion, it was hot here.
And then so to see Jersey do that, but then like the biggest thing is that they feel the same way that you do about mainstream is that no one pays homage.
Right.
And no one's like, oh yeah, but by the way, shout out to Baltimore because, and it's like that's all people want. But it's like at this point in time, I'm like you said, I'm not a Jersey person. I'm a Park Heights Randallstown person.
Right.
So that's what I know and I understand. But it's like for at this point in time, I keep reminding people on the show, club music is it's not even 30 years old. It's barely that. If so it's like Jersey not too far behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like at this point in time, these genres are still so relatively new. If you really want to think about it in relation to other music, like you look at how old hip hop is, period,
Yeah.
and then look at they have decades going. We're just working
now,
on it.
House has reemerged.
Very much. Oh
House
my God,
is
House
very
is back.
reemerged.
People hated House for a long time. I don't know why.
And House has reemerged. And my thing is,
House is hot.
they call me the uncrowned king of House right now. House has reemerged.
There's a lot of younger. There's a lot of younger generation people who.
And my thing is,
really are into making, especially around Baltimore right now.
yeah, I know Alore's gonna kill me.
That vibey.
Alore's gonna kill me for this, but I took Alore around certain situations to learn how to properly blend and how to properly deliver with house music DJs, Alternate and Lisa Moody, and he had to sit back and learn delivery and timing and how to do this and how to make this go with this and how to make this match.
One of the things that's beautiful about house music to me and what makes it actually like music is that you can get me, because I've done it. It's my favorite thing. If you just put me in front of a computer with miscellaneous club music on it, I don't know 82% of these tracks maybe, but I can still play it and DJ and it's lit. One of the things about house music is you actually have to know those songs.
Yes.
Because the songs do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of it.
You
You mess around and blend and drop a wrong song at an incorrect time.
Yeah.
Trained ears will know and feel it and be like, hold up, this was a little different. It's that whole just because it's on beat don't mean it's right.
Yeah.
Type of situation.
And my thing is, my favorite song, Louis Vega, Elevator. I love Elevator. But there's a certain break on Elevator that you have to be careful with dealing with.
You said be careful with dealing with. No, I don't have it.
My thing, you might have to start digging, baby.
I know. No, there's so much. My laptop died. And so this is like, it's music, but it's like not any type of together. It's very sad in here.
So yeah, I had to.
Go
My folks like, okay, let me figure out how to do this. Okay, this. Oh yeah, I was here when he did this on this side. So I'm gonna put this here. This.
There's a definite. How, you know what? This is my dream. At the end of these, I always end up having a dream because they're so inspirational with the tales you've told. There needs to be like a DJ dojo. Like we need to be able to open a thing.
You don't want to have me head up your dojo. No. They will hit in my guts.
Because that's the point, Sensei. Like that's what it is. Because I feel one of the things that I do fear, along with, like I mentioned, it's the fear of us losing part of the culture because these kids don't even know how to party. My sister, blessing, shout out to Jessie, Ducky Dynamo coming up. She's 22. My other sister turns 21 in just 2 weeks.
Is that the one that always hugged me?
Yes, that's Jessica. She knows it. She says hi, by the way. She's home with the baby. Yeah, she's home with the baby. My little nephew, young Nico Suave. But, they're only 21, 22, and they literally don't know how to party. Like, I would ask them, and you know, they both nerds like me, but we still, you know, got our people. One of them, they play video games all day, and the other one, when like her and her friends, they don't party. Like when they turn 18 and could go out the house, their idea of partying was chilling at. It's like whoever has the living room, basically, and just hang out, go sit and listen to Spotify forever. You know, and sit and do that. And it's like they don't have, because by the time they turned of age, there was nowhere to go. And even then, you know, like I said, they turned 21 in a couple of weeks. That would have been her first chance to be able to go out and party nowhere, unless I dragged them somewhere with me.
I hate to say it.
And it's like, how do you even... Y'all have no concept. I remember I could not wait to turn somebody's 18 so I could go party, like in the actual clubs, and, you know, like go to places.
And that's what kept me going.
That's not, yeah, and it's like that's not there no more. They don't even have anything to look forward to as far as nightlife, because this doesn't. So it's like we need to rebuild somewhere that they can.
Honestly, there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot that comes with that. Behind the scenes, when you get involved deep in the business, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that comes with it that you have to be able to deal with. Like, when the Twilight Zone left, I was hurt. I was crushed. When the Tunnel left, I damn near had a stroke. Before I had the real one in 2017. Nobody knows to this day that Big Nasty was the last DJ to play Bourbon Street. Upstairs, rooftop. He was the last DJ before they shut down. Nobody don't know that Big Nasty was the last DJ Halloween at Dudley's before Dudley's became Sizzle. Before Louis, you know, chucked up the business. You know what I'm saying? Shut that down. And everybody know Big Nasty was the last DJ to do Pride at Club Buns before Buns shut down.
I keep forgetting that Buns closed.
Like, Big Nasty was the beginning and the end of a lot of things.
That's an honor, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are intrinsic Baltimore Club history.
Yeah, but according to Diamond K, I ain't do nothing important yet.
Oh,
but that's another conversation.
Yet.
But you know, me and Diamond K, we're cool. Like, you know what I mean? I've done business with Diamond K over these. The only legendary DJ that I have not yet done business with is Scotty B.
What?
And that's on my bucket list.
What? I'm shocked to hear that.
I've played for Kenny B. I've played... Booby did my 30th birthday. I opened for Booby. On my 30th. And Booby sort of opened for me and K-Spin at the Paradox. I stood next to KW Griff. We was on the same ticket. When I Don't Give a Fuck first came out, I got the inside with me. Me and Buck stood next to each other like, yo, what the fuck is that? Bring that back, yo. We need that one more time. And the whole club, which they was coming in.
I remember when they used to just run around the club.
Oh, yeah.
At full speed. Just in a circle. Because there was enough space to do that in there, for one thing.
Yeah, but back then there wasn't no space to do that shit. No. That shit was on.
It was packed right. Everybody in there like this.
I had to have personal security escort me through the crowd.
I remember.
To get me to the chamber so I could do what I had to do. Especially.
No, I remember this.
When me and Al had to do the hardest thing in 2008 was when Swift passed. We had to do the Paradox before the funeral.
Yeah.
I opened up and it was wall to wall. Night. I had my sister and my cousin.
Everybody was crying.
Yeah, I had my sister and my cousin with me. I even cried during my set.
Yo, everybody was crying. Poor child was in there crying. Everybody was crying, and we all had the nerve to have to wake up and go.
Yeah, and went to the funeral the next day. I mean,
that was a mess.
I said, shoot, they had to escort me out.
Day, Kai, because it's Kai's birthday too.
Happy birthday, Kai. Yeah. You little light-skinned bastard. But go ahead.
I'm interviewing him on Thursday, and I told him one of the questions I was going to ask him is if he ever get tangled in his hair when he start dancing. He said never.
I'll be honest with you. Kai, in my opinion, me and him, I've known that boy since he was 16.
I know.
We've been on a ride. Me and Kai have stories within ourselves we can talk about.
I bet.
A lot of them. Not only in the scene, but outside of the scene.
Period, right.
We traveled a couple of times doing some of Kai's scenes. You know what I'm saying?
It was good times.
It was interesting. It was fun. I was there when Kai broke that dude's jaw. Right there at the Paradox. Right there. Me and Kai was talking. He said, wait a minute, Nesty. Hold on, wait a minute. Move. The fuck you with cock. Never mind, I ain't.
See, I want to tell a story now. I don't want to tell a story. I don't want him to be mad at me.
No, you don't tell no story. No, you're not allowed to tell no story.
I'm going to tell the story Thursday when I actually interview him.
They said, Kai's allowed to be mad at me. I'm used to the shit.
I'm going to be like, you allowed to say.
Like, yo, you brought up me knocking that nigga out in front. No, that's fucked up. Yo, you ain't have to talk about that shit, Nash. That's
so
fucked.
He's going to be like, tell it all.
Yeah, but my thing is, well, the Heartbreakers call me Zordon. When I call, they come.
The Heartbreakers, good time.
Yeah, my thing is, it's like, that's one thing I say I respect about Kai and Brandon and Shell and Bud. They knew how to groove.
Yeah.
They knew how to groove. They partied, they
still
groove.
do.
But with the new generation of dancers, I don't even think I know none of them anymore.
I mean, you know Mello.
Yeah, well, he don't count.
Why don't Mello count? Mello count? Is it because he's...
No, Mello is in the business now. Well,
right.
He's halfway in the business now.
I'd say he's in the business.
No, he hasn't got a chance to really get fully drilled by me. He's in...
Okay.
Yeah, he's halfway.
Uh-oh.
See, you got your chance. And I even took time out of my business schedule to come to Open Ducks. When you said, you know what? I was like, no.
Because DJing is the best thing ever.
And I came, I said, you know what, Ducky, I'm going to come through just for you. And scare the hell out of everybody else that was there.
And you did a little bit too. Well, I was just with Sega.
Yeah.
What was it, night before last? Or was that yesterday? I don't know, all the days are the same. And we were hanging out, because he's sort of in town. And we were talking about, because Artscape Weekend, remember last year, where were we? At the Depot. Mm-hmm. That was super fun.
I know you looked up and
we
was
played
like,
at the Depot. I was like, yes, and I was right. I was like, no, I'm gonna make you close. You're gonna set this down and send this to bed for the adults who will surely be present, and they were. We had so much fun. But I remember Sega said something about you. It was like, so I was like, did you ever meet Nasty? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah. I forgot. That was really just a year ago. Mm-hmm. The world's completely different now again. Like, isn't that crazy?
I said, you know what? This kid doing something. Let me show these kids some stuff.
I was trying. But no, you are still such a great DJ. And it's still such a great thing to sit and watch if you have a trained ear. And I think that that's one of the things that
a lot of people are lacking.
Right, and it's one of the things I value about you is that it's easy, especially now that I see time has passed over. I can sit here in a couple years and sit and talk like I'm an old head. Like I said, I've been DJing 5 years now. 5 years, it went by in a blip, but I have. But I've learned there's a lot of people who's DJ'd for some time, but still don't necessarily have it. Like, because you can stay mediocre.
Right.
You can start mediocre and never do anything better than that. I like to think that I started okay and ended up kind of decent for real. I ain't nobody's best DJ in the entire world, but I definitely ain't no bullshit.
Oh yeah, well,
I definitely ain't nobody.
You know, the best DJ in the world. That's my actual title.
I know. I ain't nobody trash out here, but it's like
I'm waiting for Mike to give me my ring. You know what I'm saying?
If I gotta give you a ring,
I give my ring. You know what I'm saying? I give my ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Mike, believe it or not, Mike probably forgot this, but Mike called me his prodigal son.
I remember hearing about that.
Yes, he is my son.
Yes.
Mike
actually, yes,
he is my son. Actually.
Are you proud of your son, your oldest son?
He's not my oldest son.
Oh.
Super DJ Big L.
Yeah, L is
That's my first prodigy.
Okay.
And there was a time when me and L wasn't getting along.
Jamal is basically my third son. He
a wild boy there.
Yeah.
But now
he was like you know, like the only one that's like real humble
Mm-hmm.
is K-Spin sometimes, but L and Nasty are my sons. Like they act just like me, you know.
Yes.
And
You're
arrogant,
humble.
mean.
You're humble a little bit. I think you compare
the new Mike Mumble.
The new Mike
the
Mumble.
Mike Mumble.
The Mike Mumble
The
that he
old
came
Mike
up under.
You know, you was the best out here too.
I can tell you some story between me and Swift.
Yeah, I can talk, but not for the public. Not for the
We
public.
used to beef all the time. We had a serious love-hate relationship. We loved each other to death, but we got on each other's nerves.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would happen if Be More Than Dance made a BPM mandate and was like,
Like the motherfuckers gonna listen.
no, something? Oh, do you think that's what would happen? They would be like, screw
Young
that.
kids don't listen. There's a couple times somebody told me speed up. I'm like, who the fuck you think you're talking to? That's why most of them don't like my ass. Like, you're not gonna come at me when I'm doing your music. Go your ass and dance at the pace. I'll give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
That's usually how it works.
My thing is,
You know, you don't tell a DJ what to do. You
Right.
let the DJ play.
Right.
That
And
That's what I was getting at earlier.
That decipher what kind of dancer you are.
Right.
You know, because you never could tell. You never. And this is how you know they never went to the club, because you can never go to the club and tell a DJ to start.
how
over.
dare you walk up and say, yo, L, yeah, I'm just getting my legs, and can you put that back?
Unless you
Unless you
pay
pay him.
Right. Or like you a best friend or
Yeah.
something.
Unless your name is worth it, unless
Yeah.
you Shantron, may he rest well.
Yeah. But these DJs, they have never been to clubs,
Right.
so they don't kind of understand the concept of the DJ and the club music. And the one thing I tell everybody is, the DJs was the one. They are the true people to the club scene.
Right.
It was you know, because the DJ he was the man. You know, the dancers, and it's still like that to this day.
Mm-hmm. That's how
I don't
it's
get
supposed to
pumped
be.
off my dancers, off of nobody dancing. I get pumped off my DJ, off my
Right.
host.
Right.
My
right.
host gets me pumped. My host sitting right there. My host,
Yeah.
I need to. Need to host for me too.
No, Nick's good.
I only got 2 hosts that can actually come and host my party. That's it.
Which is more fun, hosting or DJing?
Fun for me is being able to talk my shit.
Talk.
So you love talking shit.
More profitable is me DJing.
That's a good.
That's why you couldn't. If it weren't for K Light, that wasn't no Raw Bracket.
Right.
Hmm.
And K Life is another close personal friend of mine. I remember when I met him, it was like,
Is it
that
more
was
fun?
awestruck.
Is it more fun to host for yourself or for others?
For me, it's for others. Cause for myself, I get into that, old K Swift routine, get the microphone and then plus I know how to turn the music down for
cut
myself
yourself.
to say what I need to say, then put the song in there.
Oh my gosh, explain this to me then, because you are still a host. Sometimes I remember I just had a flashback, you just mentioned it, of when, like say I was DJing and then somebody was on the mic, they come to the mixer and do this.
I hate
And-
Oh my God, you
and-
don't know it's...
Hold up, it's a reflex. Hey, Mike, it's a reflex. It's a reflex.
And it's like, what are you
Motherfucker.
touching? Why are you touching my fader?
It's a reflex.
Like, we gotta be so super cool for you to be able to do
Yeah.
that. We gotta,
I hate
people, and I'd be confused, like, is this like mandate? Is this like the...
No, because my thing is, you are not allowed to touch the
Don't touch
DJ's
any of my
anything.
shit.
Because my thing is, when you mess
I
up
will
a
cut
DJ's
you.
momentum, you're messing up the DJ situation.
Yeah,
The music
like,
is speeding the DJ. Like, okay, I'm playing this. Okay, I'm done. Hit.
what
the
would
fuck?
you
Pop!
what would you think, especially if you have no chemistry, like that shit shows too, like you have no chemistry
that's
with
what I'm saying,
life.
like, you don't have a chemistry with that DJ.
Right.
What the fuck?
With that whole
DJ
fight.
you have the opportunity to come there and turn the shit down because you saw somebody else do it. You don't know the risk that these two artists had.
Right.
Both
That
the
could be a
host
routine for
and
all
the
you
DJ,
know.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, like sometimes, when you've been, performing with this guy for so long,
Mm-hmm.
it's like y'all become like y'all come like Dragon Ball Z.
You do the fusion dance.
Fusion dance. You come together.
Yeah, my thing is,
and y'all one person, and y'all know each other, and he know exactly
what you about to do. Yeah.
Like,
let me run them down. Regis, Keenan. I smacked the fuck out their hands.
Say Regis. Shout out to Regis.
What was that damn dude? Mateo.
Oh wow.
You don't touch my knob. Hell no. I just want to say I love Super DJ Big Al because he taught me some things to do with the knobs at the Paradox to make your music come out louder and clear. Al's been down there for so long. When he passed that torch to me, he passed me all the secrets.
Good.
That's what you're supposed to do. You pass the torch. Same thing I did with the Lord. When you pass the torch, I passed the torch down to the Lord when the Lord took over the main run. Like, here's what you do. I ain't passed Elmo shit. Like, here's what you do. I don't know. He gonna hear that. You know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
And the Lord was one of the people that actually brought house music back in the open at the Paradox. Because a lot of people don't know, but back in the day, it was a DJ named J-Bo, who I love so much. The first hour at the Paradox always played house music. I was there for his finale. They bought him a cake. Matter of fact, that was my first night, his finale.
Oh, wow.
They bought him a cake and everything. I wished him well, hugged him, met his wife. They ate cake, had a good time. And that was Big Nasty's first night at in the chamber.
Oh, I missed the doc so much.
My thing is, the Paradox was the last resort for everybody.
What
it
you
was
mean
the last party resort for everybody. When the Paradox closed, everything went to the left. Everything.
Let's talk about that shift for a second, because I think that is one of the bigger, that's like the next step, because it's like, okay, you have Swift passing, and then so we have those weird 5 years.
Yeah, everything closed down after that.
And the docs.
Yeah, when the docs left us, that was like, what? Yeah, Black Star, I think he's listening. When the docs left, that was like the be-all, end-all. Everything was like done. Especially for the high school market and the kids market. A lot of people didn't want to get wrecked, so anybody want to, you know what my thing is? Things were different. Hi, Black Star. My thing is, things changed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that was young enough to go, or felt like going, because I was there for Rod Braxton's tenure, which turned into L's tenure, which turned into, promoter tenure, which I hated so much, which was Sin and Rob and all those guys, which then turned into Allure tenure. And not to mention, Big Nasty was the last person to do a college party.
I was just about
at
to
the
ask
Paradox.
Yeah, the college.
Before he cut everything off as far as the college market. Then he called me back the following week to do another party for the college market before he shut down the college market, and then turned into all house music, which was Deep Sugar every Saturday before he shut down, which was packed beyond belief.
Third Saturdays
made me money.
It used to be so deep in there.
I walk in
there.
there.
That's one of the ones I got to play.
Yeah, third Saturday. Leroy, who I love so much. Third Saturday. Leroy. Nasty. I need you to behave yourself. You can't so and so.
You was always almost getting in trouble. You always need a disclaimer before you can go play somewhere. Like somebody.
Everybody already knew what it was when it came to me. You gonna have fun, but at the same time, somebody's gonna get in some shit fucking with me. Somebody's gonna take something home. You know what I mean?
Mike's like, yeah.
You gonna get in some shit.
The nastiest motherfucker.
It was always something.
Like shoot, I would stick my hand up like, yes. All the trouble I started over the years in the business, I was like, okay, they fucking, yes, I did my job.
I did it again.
Hold up. True story. Swift, I love you, but I got to talk about this. Since Black Star, I don't know if Black Star is listening, but yeah, that was my first time meeting Black Star. We had a party at Collison Square Rec Center. And Swift looked at me. and said, "Nasty, I bet you I can make him fight." I'm like, what the fuck? No!
Who said this?
Swift! Watch this. Look, if you buck, crime love, ho. I'm like,
Within
no.
minutes.
The party ended early. She still got her money. I still got paid. I'm like,
That's the magic behind DJing.
like, I was tired, yo. Shit, I'm sorry. I'm not forgetting when she went to Aberdeen. Swift, please don't kill me for this. Watch me blow the speaker. Watch. Swift, what are you doing? Watch. Boom, boom.
She's a diva. Mischievous shit. She's a diva, a whole lot of mischievous shit. She was known for that. It was all in fun, though.
I was like, girl, true story. Choices. The rider and the diva fight.
Oh no.
Nasty. I was DJing. I was like chilling. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Nasty. Play that Hey Riders. Let's get it on. Dun, dun. We don't give a fuck out my way. We don't give a fuck. Yo, watch this. We don't give a fuck. Watch this, Nasty. Ding, ding, ding.
You said, I'm gonna make him fight.
I loved her, but she did so much shit. We had so much fun, but it was so much shit. It was a lot of fucking fun.
I don't feel like
remember
Baltimore.
that True Goodfellas? Ducky was there, so I don't think you remember. Remember the True Goodfellas? Remember the True Goodfellas in it was Club Entertainment on New Year's Day when Swift had Buck Jones on the steps.
Going up.
On the paradise.
That was New Year. He was
That
so
was New Year's.
we rubbed it in Buck's face.
I feel like I vaguely remember that.
You was around.
Yeah, he was.
You was part of the street team.
Yo said, Buck got shit.
You was part of the street team.
It was a lot of. I mean, we had a lot of fun. That's what part of being in the business. Even though it was a lot of bad things in the business, it was plenty of good
It was
things
fun.
in the business.
First, it always seemed like it was fun. It was business and it was serious at times. And again, to me, especially back then, being a kid, you know, essentially seeing all that, it's like, oh no, this is very, you know, they have their ways. But it's like, no, it was almost like playing house almost. Because it's like you got a bunch of friends.
But say, yeah, you
doing
started
a
hanging with me and
business
saw some shit.
It was like, what?
It's like, what the?
What happened?
Huh? Why you?
I was telling somebody that I was like, no, there was a period of time I was responsible for getting Nasty into the club. I went and I got him. Made sure we go in there extra ass early.
And that's what
carrying
the rules.
your thing of CDs.
Yeah, but see, that was the rule.
Yep.
My thing is, a lot of people never understood it, but I've always said being on time for me is being
Early.
late.
You said what?
If I'm on time somewhere, that means
Oh yeah,
I'm
right.
late.
You're already running behind.
Being early for me is
That's
being
on
on
time.
time. Like I did a party a couple weeks ago. I arrived at the place like an hour. She like, I told you I'm gonna get this. I say, look, baby, I'm professional. That's not how I get down.
That's also how you get your
That's
money
not
in
how
order.
I operate. Because my thing is, in my contracts, you can take a percentage out for me being late.
Right.
You will
You know, that's
never
playing
get.
with money.
And with me being half crippled, you ain't gonna catch me slipping.
Right. That's also where, I learned that you gotta get your money first trick.
Pretty much.
Because it's like you get there early, and it's like,
Here you go.
because it's be too many excuses. Oh, I got hat. Oh, you got what? Well,
Yeah, I learned that from Mr. Rod Braxton, who's kind of like Mike Mumble's rival, but one of my closest friends.
One of my closest friends.
He told me, like, look, here's what happened. Once upon a time, I was doing a party. They gave me half my money. So I cut the shit off halfway while it was going on and started packing my shit. They got the rest of my money. And I said, I'm going to hold on to that.
I know what we forgot to talk about earlier.
Well, bye.
We forgot to talk about the radio. And with these last 10 minutes, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the radio because I know that I would like for you to explain
Go ahead.
your involvement with the other station for a second because unbeknownst to the children, we once had more than just 92Q. We did.
My thing is, a lot of things. Let's
And
just say,
radio is one of the people. It was one of the things that people like to point the finger at in terms of what happened in Baltimore Club. A lot of people.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not radio's fault.
Okay.
It is not radio's fault. My thing is, when she passed, she was on the radio. She was on the radio, but there was nobody left to pick up where she left off. Everybody was so quick, which I'm still mad at certain people for, to put it on L, which was not the right thing to do, because L was not club. L is a DJ that does it all.
Right.
L did it all. L is kind of like, me and Mike. We do it all. We wasn't just club music. We did it all. She didn't want to be just club music. And I'm going to put it out there. She did it all. It's just people recognized her for being club music.
Right.
So she used that as a marketing tool to make her brand a lot stronger. That's what she was good at that. Mm-hmm. I always give Swift that. She was good at that. Mm-hmm. That launched Next Level, and she was good at that. She was a businesswoman. Mm-hmm. She knew how to use her brand to draw in more money. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the radio, the person that was in charge of the People Station, who's running the show right now, happens to be a good friend of mine, Mr. Kelson. And he took over. My thing is club music. Club music is limited to a certain amount of time now.
Right.
It's not, back in the day, we used to have the 9 o'clock mix.
Yes.
Well, before that, for V103, Frank Ski, DJ Booby, Monday through Thursday gave me the 10 o'clock mix. And on Friday, it was Scotty B. And that motivated us to go, damn, what club they be at? I'm going to go there with them on the weekend. Right, exactly. That's what we going to do. We going to fuck with them. Now it's like, since you're not giving me club music, you're giving me a lot of us.
Club music for like 15 minutes.
I say a lot of us don't really want to go. Yeah, I mean, we don't want to do all that. A lot of us are not smoking weed heads. Well, I don't know how. Anyway. We don't really dance to that. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to do all this all the time. We want to shake off. We want to,
just grind on somebody.
Yeah, pretty much.
I miss just going and dancing on nigga.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it.
Chicks was checking to see what we was dealing with, and we was checking to see what they was dealing with, and we was figuring out how can we get the number. Because when you had cell phones back in the day, I could get a piece of paper to get the number, you know what I'm saying? Or write on my hand and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's how you handle your business. Radio's not blamed for that. Then when the original X105 came out, Quick had his show, which built up Hammerjacks. People listen to Quick and go, damn, where he gonna be at? Sunday at Hammerjacks. We gonna go down there and see what y'all doing. Mm-hmm. That's how it was. Now it's like, it ain't nothing left. Radio's not giving people the club music to make you go, damn, I'm gonna hold up. Yo at Melvin's gonna be at Melvin's. I'm gonna be where yo at.
Do you think that now, especially in our current coronavirus times, with so many more clubs are going to close, so many more bars and the places, because they just can't sustain the stagnancy. Do you think that that's another one of those, do we go back to it, or do we just try to move through with it? Because it's like
I said before, it takes for someone powerful to reinvent it. Someone to make it go back to the main idea, the subject, the predicate, the punchline, the hard bass line, the boom, 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 boom. There's something that's going to make you go, oh, shit, I need some of that.
Right.
Like I said, shout out to DJ Smooth and MMBP radio staff. They're doing their thing right now, and I haven't checked out all of their stuff, but it's not. Yeah, about to say it's not kicking it. Like I said, like for example, like something like a strong, broad lead bass line. Like I said, it takes for a veteran to take somebody underneath and be like, look, this is how we used to do club music. This is what needs to go on. Something that Eric LeBou always bitched about.
He said his whole name.
You're damn right. He knows I don't give a fuck.
You said Eric.
And that was my last cuss word.
You use them all?
I use all 5 of them. Anyway, he always say, we need the veterans to come out and talk. I said, no. Back in the day, if you needed a veteran, you would do whatever you had to do to get to that veteran and have that veteran understand where you were coming from. Me, for prime example, I had to make my mom understand what was going on with me. Mm-hmm. I had to make my god brother understand what was going on for me before I started having to buy the records and get the needles and all that. Mm-hmm. It takes work. You have to do the work to let them know that you are hungry and want to do this.
Right.
It's not just ask me a question, teach me how to so and so and so and so and so.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like...
It's a lifestyle, baby.
That's what I said before. This is a lifestyle change. You have to learn how to adapt to everything.
It really is. And it's not like playing no other instrument.
Right.
It really isn't. Like, I've been in bands. I've helped bring them up in the watch. It's... Business-wise,
it's a whole different...
Business-wise is when those two things can kind of go hand in hand. Especially if you a contract type of musician, but it's like, oh nah, the lifestyle is something. I think it gives you valuable experience in life.
You learn
I've learned of all of the things on my resume. I think that these past 5 years where I've been involved in the business finally, so to speak, and I think that there's just a moment when anything you're doing is how you keep your lights on.
Right.
Something up here switches,
like, wait,
and it doesn't switch for everybody, and that's probably when it's like you're not ready. It's like,
and so like, what the?
There has to be something, and that goes with the skill and the love of it.
And that's why certain people, like I said, I've spent my life very misunderstood. Mm-hmm. But you understand me when I'm coming down your throat,
right?
Like, oh no, this is not how you do this. No, you do this like this. I'm not going to shout a particular person out, but I went upside his head at the ass there. The fuck you not going to do this? No. Uh-oh. Or my favorite, where your headphones at? Pick up your put them things in and do the shit the right way. No, you're not going to do this on my watch.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the constant, forever reminders to put one's headphones on. That was my favorite DJ lesson to learn.
Because my thing is, a lot of people don't get it. And I'm going to put it out there for everybody that doesn't understand. The reason why I scream, put your headphones on, is people do not need to hear you setting up your song. They just need to hear the aftermath of the delivery. It's not cute at all. They don't want to hear it.
Even if you think
they don't want to hear that.
And you're making musical, it still overall isn't cute to somebody dancing.
Right. They're going to look around like, what the fuck? They're going to think you don't know what you're doing. The professional thing to do is to have your headphones on so you can time yourself on your headphones before you deliver it out to the public. That's called preparation. Mm-hmm. You prepare your food before you don't give nobody food without giving them a good clean plate.
Such a good teacher. You talking about you don't want to teach nothing.
I'm too much of an asshole. You don't want. I can't say nobody. I'm too rude. Kids be running home to their mother.
Like when?
But half of their mothers probably know me.
Yikes.
Like, oh no,
Who said that?
You're not gonna let that's Uncle Nasty. You're not gonna let that. Hey, he can talk to you like that. That's how. Hey, look, I told you he can talk to you like that.
A mess,
but
not a mess. So let's see. We're probably coming up on the last minutes of it before it cuts out on us again. What are any final thoughts and preachings and things about club music that we didn't touch on that you would maybe want to put out to the people? Because Baltimore club music is the shit, and we need to sustain it. And I won't forever bother you about it.
Well, you ain't gonna bother me because you already know how. Anyway,
see. But it's important when the clubs in the world music? Open back up, and I book the party. You better not give me no sass when I'm like,
oh no, wait, no.
Come and play.
Everybody knows my MO. She should know me by now. The only reason why she know I barely say no to her. I look like, but shit. All right, Ducky. Here's what we gonna do. But my thing is, as far as Baltimore club music, I'm not gonna chuck this up as a rest in peace moment. I'm gonna chuck this up as an opportunity for everybody to rebuild and reinvent and get everything back together.
It's not dead. It's just sleep.
And all I'm gonna say is, that's all I'm gonna say. Thank y'all. God bless. Good night.
Yay, 10 seconds remain. That's perfect. It's gonna end like perfectly. Thank you for tuning in. Thursday, we're dancing around with Kai. Hey, you knuckleheads. Walking down the avenue. A few more streets and we'll be through. Fangtown, North MP, Park Heights, RNG, White Lock, Cherry Hill, North Long and Dolefield.